coming at ya, back at ya. Player with master, coming at ya, coming at ya. Rap style disaster, coming at ya, back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Outspoken. I'm your host, Nigel Ashford. Tonight, we are partnering up with Nashville Black Pride once again, but this time to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of LGBTQ Black history with our first digital LGBTQ Black history program. Now, this means you won't get to hear the annoying sounds of my voice like you would in a regular episode, but instead, you're going to be enchanted by the talents, the words, and performances of our Black LGBTQ community. Now, before the program begins, I would like to thank everyone for today with the technical issues, bearing with us last week with the loss of power due to the snowstorm, and also couldn't do it this weekend because I had to attend my great-grandfather's funeral. But just thank you for everything, and especially your prayers. But we're back, we're ready, and we're better than ever. And before we get started, we have a quick word from the president and founder of Nashville Black Pride, Dwayne Jenkins.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Jenkins, president and founder of Nashville Black Pride. Thank you, Nigel and the Outspoken family, for allowing us this opportunity to celebrate Black LGBT history during Black History Month in February. We really appreciate this chance to highlight some of the achievements and the good work that is done both locally, nationally, and internationally in our Black and Brown communities for Black History Month. Please don't forget that our history is rich in everything. From A to Z, we've done it all. And this is just a taste of some of the things that our local LGBT folks have done during Black history. So thank you again, Nigel and the Outspoken fam. And thank you to everyone celebrating with us this month. Take care.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'm glad to be working with you guys as well. Now, kicking this evening off is a man who has been described as a vocal standout, possessing a powerful and elegant countertenor voice, and he goes by the name of Patrick Daly. Patrick is an actor, performer, voice teacher, educator, and vocal director. For almost 2 decades, he has performed with numerous of symphonies, orchestras, and operas. On the eve of President Obama's 2009 inauguration, Patrick made his Kennedy Center debut in a finale duet with Aretha Franklin in the Let Freedom Ring MLK celebration. In 2017, he made his New York City cabaret debut as a subculture New York City as the invitation came from the one and only Tony Award-winning composer Jason Robert Brown. Patrick's voice is a one-in-a-lifetime talent that will move your soul in a way you've never thought was possible. Ladies and gentlemen, performing Deep River, Patrick Daly. Thank you for that beautiful performance, Patrick. Next, we will have the one and only vocalist and violinist, Tona Brown. Ms. Brown has an international career as a violinist, mezzo soprano, and has performed throughout the United States, Canada, and Europe. She is also an advocate for transgender issues in the arts and speaks and performs for major events on the East Coast. She has been featured in numerous national acclaim magazines, television, and radio shows, and sang the national anthem at the Department of Veteran Affairs' second annual LGBT Pride Month commemoration ceremony. Now, Ms. Brown was chosen by the White House to sing the national anthem for President Obama at a 2011 LGBT Pride Gala in New York City, making her the first transgender artist to be accorded that honor. She has also performed at New York City iconic Carnegie Hall, making her the first African American transgender woman ever to grace the stage of the world famous recital hall. Tona's talents have evolved, including acting, and she's been cast as Delia as a major character in the upcoming new Netflix series, City Lights. Ladies and gentlemen, performing Amazing Grace, the extraordinary Tona Brown. Thank you, Miss Brown, for being a musical talent that symbolizes hope for other women in the trans community. You truly are a part of our Black history. The night only gets better, guys. Next, we will have not one, not two, but three amazing performers combining music, dancing, and art all into one. And they go by the name of Shackled Feet Dance. First, we'll have Benji Uzo, who graduated from Texas A&M University and is now a tech geek by day and a musician by night, living in Nashville, Tennessee. He recently started to invest more in writing music and developing himself as an artist with the inspirations of John Legend and Leon Bridges. We also have Byron Bankhead, a Jackson, Tennessee native who is on the front lines for justice and the liberation of Black lives, trans lives, and stigma reduction in regards to public health. Byron currently attends Middle Tennessee State University, majoring in the social work with a concentration in nonprofit management. He currently works as an HIV counseling and testing specialist. And last but not least, the one who brought the trio together, Mr. Shabazz Ujima. Mr. Ujima first studied dance at Nashville School of the Arts, continuing his training at New World School of the Arts in Miami, Florida, and went on to dance in Nashville's Ballet Second Company before enjoying a successful career in contemporary dance with Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Ensemble and Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. Mr. Ujima has performed works by choreographers such as Alvin Ailey, Donald McHale, Milton Myers, Matt Maddox, Suzanne Link, and many more. Upon his professional dance retirement in 2014, Mr. Ujima returned to Nashville Ballet. He is currently a full-time faculty member in modern and contemporary dance at a school of Nashville Ballet. Mr. Ujima is also teaching artists for Nashville Ballet's Community Engagement Program, which introduces the art of dance to 40,000 community members each year through visits to schools, libraries, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, performing a two-part piece tonight, I present to you Shackled Feet Dance.
About me and you, things we used to do, it's all in the past now. When I hear that song, I just wanna sing along. I know what it is to be broken and be bold. Tell you that my silver is gold, though I'm much too old for make-believe. And I know what it's like to be whole and not be held. Funny how a stomach unfed seems satisfied 'cause it's well and swollen. And you caught me shooting across the sky like a star. But now back to hold me to never let it get too far. See my silhouette, so you're standing scared of me. Can I tell you a secret? My wings are made of plastic. 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 Oh, no. plastic. My wings are made of 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 plastic. My wings are made of. And so I know in my heart that I really want you. I can't express it. How much I really crave you. And I know in my heart, I can't stop thinking of you. I need you to come rescue me.
You ever crave the presence of someone? The way their energy feels in the same space as yours, the smell of the top of his head, the warmth coming from underneath his jawbone, right above his collarbone. You miss that hold on you, and I'm not talking about that how he pulls you in closer when he feels you moving in his sleep hold. I'm talking about that I'ma stay my ass at home on a Saturday night. That kind. Should I text him and say what? I want you here and I just want to feel you near me, and that only translated to a Netflix and chill, which honestly is a possibility because you on me is problematic to my morals. I'll let you have whatever you want out of me and I have no shame about it. That is till tomorrow when I'm contemplating, is it too soon to start sending good morning texts, and are we even on that level? You ever crave that affection? All of his thoughts racing behind his intentions as his eyes bring up the tail end. Those looks do it to me. Looking into my bare soul as our bare bodies slide into each other at the crack of dawn as the morning dew accumulates and the sky spreads like yearning thighs. A high like no other. You ever crave this mystery? Those answers to those questions that you don't want to ask, like how it feels and is it good to you and what are we and do you plan to marry? And I don't know what I want more, the answers or the feeling of knowing that I have a reason to even ask those things. Either way it goes, I don't want to learn his secrets. I want to grow in them, come alive in the darkened soul, his vulnerability with little to no sunlight and daily communication to feed my roots, the same ones grounded in his. This thing, this man. You ever crave the presence of someone? I need you. The same way their energy feels in the same space as yours. Come rescue me. The smell of the top of his head. I need you. Oh. The warmth coming from under his jawbone, right above his collarbone. Come rescue me. You miss that hold on you. That kind.
What an amazing performance. Again, that was Shackled Feet Dance, and you can find these talented individuals right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, in celebrating LGBTQ Black History Month, I know the question comes up, who exactly are we celebrating? This is why we chose the theme, People of the Past Creating a Pathway for a Better Future. We are celebrating those who not only had to experience hardship, racism, segregation, and prejudice due to the color of their skin, but who also was looked at as outcast by society and even the Black community because of who they loved. That is why we at Outspoken teamed up with Coming Out Black and put together a little slideshow recognizing and thanking those who paved the way for you and for me. after seeing this video, all you can say is thank you. And not only to those people we just seen, but also to those within the community who work just as hard to make sure we have a place and a space in this world to be our true, authentic selves. All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but before we do, here's a word from Nashville Black Pride.
Hi, my name is Maxine Spencer, and I'm a member of Nashville's Black Pride Board. And Black LGBTQ plus history is important to me because it's histories that we really need to understand and grapple with, not in just recognizing the icons that have been sort of hidden, but also to really understand, that we as a people are part of the foundation, as Black LGBTQ plus people are part of the foundation of all the movements and all of the great work that's been done by Black Americans and by Black folks in our society.
For people living with HIV, keep being you and ask your doctor about Biktarvy. Biktarvy is a complete one-pill, once-a-day treatment used for HIV in certain adults. It's not a cure, but with one small pill, Biktarvy fights HIV to help you get to and stay undetectable. That's when the amount of virus is so low, it cannot be measured by a lab test. Research shows people who take HIV treatment every day and get to and stay undetectable can no longer transmit HIV through sex.
Serious side effects can occur, including kidney problems and kidney failure. Rare, life-threatening side effects include a buildup of lactic acid and liver problems. Do not take Biktarvy if you take dofetilide or rifampin. Tell your doctor about all the medicines and supplements you take if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have kidney or liver problems, including hepatitis. If you have hepatitis B, do not stop taking Biktarvy without talking to your doctor. Common side effects were diarrhea, nausea, and headache.
If you're living with HIV, keep loving who you are and ask your doctor if Biktarvy is right for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ronald Tunstall, and I'm a member of the National Black Pride Board, and I do believe LGBTQ people should be recognized during Black history, and that is because we are a significant part of history and Black history, as a matter of fact. This is whether we have been acknowledged, affirmed, self-identified or not, we have impacted this world. Some may believe that they can't live with us, but I will say that you definitely would be at a loss without us, because we are the essence of the finer things in life. We are the heartbeat of culture, the wisdom behind many works, the rainbow colors this world, even when we have been underappreciated and oppressed. We carry a lot. We carry a very, very heavy load, regardless of who knows it or understands it. It's time that we are seen and recognized for all that we do. And that's because we are included in history too. We matter.
Thank you for that word, Ronellis, and welcome back, everyone. For those who are just tuning in to celebrate Black History Month, our show, along with Nashville Black Pride, are working together to celebrate our LGBTQ people of color with our LGBTQ Black History Month program. So let's continue keeping this show going with our next performer, Angela Taylor. Angela is a multi-talented community activist committed to ending youth violence through the arts. She is the founder of Wings Lifted Productions. She is also a dynamic performer, artist, songwriter, visual artist, playwright, and screenwriter. Angela's natural writing gift has allowed her to entertain a global audience from New York to Germany as her writing reflects experiences she has lived or witnessed and tells stories that need to be heard. She involves local youth with the production of her plays and music performed at churches, community centers, theater, events, and venues to encourage them to choose a different path, and speaks life into the homeless by sharing her journey, giving them the hope for a better tomorrow. Performing an original visual poem, Miss Angela Taylor, everyone.
Stand up, put your hands up nationwide, honor and celebrating LGBTQ Black Pride. Black Pride legends, your voice echoes through the heavens. Your legacy is a blessing. Your spirit lives on from past to present. I can hear it saying, don't you give up, don't you give in. Gotta keep pushing, moving to the end. Don't let no one tell you you can't win because of who you love and the color of your skin. Don't you give up. Why would we? After so many pioneers through the years shed blood and tears to get us here, how could we? We are honoring Black lawyers, doctors, actors, actresses, scientists, musicians, artists, teachers, activists, from the NBA to the major league to religion. For example, he was born into slavery, but ended up being a scientist and a farmer. Let's honor and celebrate the late, great George Washington Carver. We won't stop there. We also had Black writers and authors like Langston Hughes, James Baldwin, and Miss Alice Walker. Listen, you can't stop someone from choosing to be who they are. Anti-gayism and racial wars brought injustice to innocent bystanders and put them behind bars, and they call that the law. But we can't fall and we won't fall. We showed y'all that at the uprising of the Stonewall back in 1969, way before my time. The power's in the mind, so many mountains to climb, but we can't stop trying. Like, don't you give up, don't you give in. Gotta keep pushing, moving to the end. Don't let no one tell you you can't win because of who you love and the color of your skin. Don't you give up. Why would we? After all the violence and the looting and police brutality and the shooting, it's no justice for us. Who are they fooling? That's why we gotta keep this moving. That's why we gotta keep moving. That's why activists like Angela Davis and Bayard Rustin had to stand up. That's why Marsha P. Johnson and Stormy DeLarve said, this is enough. They passed that torch, now we hold that fire. It's up to us to stay inspired and keep pushing higher. So don't you give up, don't you give in. Gotta keep pushing, moving to the end. Don't let no one tell you you can't win because of who you love and the color of your skin. Don't you give up. I said we're honoring Black pride greatness, some of the greatest icons through history that paved the way for us today so we can make it. Alvin Alley, Andre Leon Talent, Andre Lordy, Bessie Smith, Bill T. Jones, Daryl Stevens, and the list goes on. We are great. And can't no one take that away just because you might be gay, bi, straight, transsexual, or lesbian. Keep on stepping. You got goals and visions. Let your mind be a weapon. Learn from the past for your future right now in the present. And don't you give up, don't you give in. Gotta keep pushing, moving to the end. Don't let no one tell you you can't win, 'cause of who you love or the color of your skin. Don't you give up. Now let me hear you say, black pride, black pride, black lives, black lives, black pride, black pride, black lives, black lives, black pride, black pride, black lives, black lives.
Thank you for that spoken word, Angela. Before we introduce our guest speaker for the night, I wanted us to shine a spotlight on certain politicians and judges. 2020 was the first time in history that so many offices and positions were held by LGBTQ individuals of color. So we put together a little slideshow to say congratulations, because it shows that people are now voting and putting people into offices not based on their color of their skin and their sexual orientation, but how well they get the job done. Now, you may have noticed our guest speaker in one of the slides. That's right, Florida State Senator Chevron Jones, who is the first LGBTQ individual to become senator in Florida. Prior to becoming a legislator, Senator Jones served as an AP chemistry teacher. He is the founder and CEO of Lead Nation One of South. Senator Jones is also very involved locally, stateside, and nationally. He is involved with the Council of State Governments Tolls Fellowship Program and Millennial Action Project's Florida Future Caucus, and was appointed by President Obama himself to serve on the College Promise Task Force. Jones has been recognized with numerous awards and accolades, including a feature in Gold Coast Magazine Top 40 Under 40. Senator Jones has been able to bridge political division and pass meaningful legislations even while being a member of the minority party. Senator Jones is passionate about youth, education, equity, and economic development. He desires to leave a legacy that will emulate dedication and commitment for the lives of future generations. He loves people, and he is grateful to God for giving him a life of service and helping others. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Chevron Jones.
It's so great to see all of you virtually. Too bad we can't be together in person, but this will have to do for now. I'm so happy that you're celebrating your theme, people of the past, creating a pathway for a better future. My name is State Senator Chevron Jones, and I have the awesome privilege of serving the 35th Senate District here within the state of Florida. As the first out LGBTQ plus Florida State Senator, I am committed to working with Outspoken to provide a media platform that will allow our LGBTQ brothers and sisters to speak up and speak out about their untold stories and our realities. Despite recent strides towards civil rights, equality, and recognition for the LGBTQ plus community, recreational programs, spaces, and resources for people of color remain inadequate nationally. In some parts of the county, in some parts of the country, in some parts of states, services for LGBTQ people of color may not be readily or openly available, while in some areas they may not exist at all. However, like other disadvantaged groups, people who are LGBTQ plus, especially our brothers and sisters, need and deserve equal and unprejudiced access to programs, spaces, and resources. You know, the Stonewall riots, which began the night of June 28, 1969, are widely known as a milestone for the gay rights movement. What is less recognized, though, is that many leaders at Stonewall were also part of the Black community. However, these leaders are still struggling just to be recognized. You know, as long as there have been Black people, there have been LGBTQ, there have been same gender. But the one thing that we all have is that they all have always been loving people. Racism combined with the forces of stigma and phobia and discrimination and biases associated with gender and sexuality have too often erased their contributions to our community. From 1960s civil rights activist Bayard Rustin to Chicago's first Black female and lesbian mayor, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Black LGBTQ Americans have long made history with innumerable contributions to politics, into art, medicine, and a host of other fields. I'll tell you this, being able to serve in this capacity over the last 100 days, I have learned one thing, that when you become all right with it, everybody else becomes all right. When you focus on what the main thing is, everyone else can focus on what the main thing is. As you look at this and as we move forward this Black History Month, and as you go forth with your theme, People of the Past, creating a pathway for a better future, ask yourself the question, what is history going to say to you right now? Who are you laying foundation for? What child are you laying a foundation for? Which transgender male or female who might be in school, who might be looking at you asking for guidance, crying out for guidance? It's going to take all of us to work together to move the agenda of people, because that's who we are. So many people have looked at the LGBTQ people, the community, the LGBT community, and has tried to sit us outside of the sandbox. But we have shown them one thing. If you sit us outside of the sandbox, we'll start building our own sandcastle by ourselves. And I'll tell you this, we are building a force to show love, a force to show compassion, a force to show empathy. I am grateful that you all have given me this opportunity to speak to you all today. It is my hope and my prayer that years from now, history will look you in your eye and tell you, thank you for what you've done for someone else. I know what my path is, and I know who laid it for me. The question is, who's going to say that about you when it's all said and done? Thank you for allowing me to be in your space tonight. I love you, I appreciate you, and I wish you all the best. Thanks.
Thank you, Senator Jones, and continue to know that you will always find love and support from my community. Now, recently, I've become sort of an LGBTQ book nerd to the point I've started an outspoken book club where I highlight LGBTQ authors and their stories. Now, I recently came across a young queer person who is even more of a book lover than I am. Show some love for Bow Ties and Books with Jessie, as she gives you a rundown of books written by LGBTQ Black authors.
So without further ado, let's get started. Now, if you want to read something a little bit creepy and disturbing, I recommend reading Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. This is a young adult horror novel that is told in 3 perspectives. One of the 3 protagonists, Zoe, is a Black asexual girl, and honestly, the asexuality rep in this book is absolutely incredible. Next book that I have here is actually my favorite book of 2020 thus far, and that is none other than All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson. This was my first read of 2020, and I have been raving about it since January, raving about this book. We have Homie by Danez Smith, who is a local author that I love so much. They are non-binary, and this is a poetry collection that is honestly just about radical love, and it is riotous, it is real, it's down to earth, it's super unpretentious. It's honestly just one long gospel love letter to Blackness and to queerness, and it's just freaking fantastic. I also just want to say that y'all need to pre-order Death of Vivek Oji, because this is Akweke Emezi's latest book. It comes out in August. And it's amazing. It focuses on trans individuals living in Nigeria, and it's just fucking incredible. Then we have one of my favorite queer books of all time, which is Patsy by Nicole Dennis Penn. Patsy is about a woman named Patsy who grew up in love with her best friend. Her best friend, Cicely, ended up moving to New York years ago, and Patsy never forgot her or fell out of love with her. But because of the environment that Patsy lives in, she hasn't been able to explore her queerness and ended up giving birth to a child at a very young age, although she had no interest in being a mother. And so in this book, we're following Patsy as she goes to New York City in order to pursue the love of her life, as well as Patsy's child, True. This is one of those stories that takes place over a period of decades, and oh my goodness, the passage of time is handled so eloquently in this book. Then we have one of my favorite series of all time, which is the Broken Earth trilogy. Honestly, I'm just so impressed with the queerness in this freaking story. One of my favorite things about N.K. Jemisin is that she truly shows that she loves the Black diaspora. And what I mean by that is she is such a queen at crafting characters that represent the full spectrum of all the ways an individual can be Black. In this story, we have trans characters, we have female-female romance, we have polyamorous characters, and one of the main characters is a queer man. There's just so much Black diversity, and I absolutely loved that. I loved that so much about this story. And if you're not aware of what this series is about, it is a dystopian fantasy trilogy where the earth is plagued by incredibly violent weather, and whenever a season takes place, people kind of bunker down and band together for survival. Things are made even more complicated when you introduce origins into the world, which are people who have the ability to control the earth. However, these people are highly stigmatized. They don't have rights in society. They are killed and ostracized and feared and hated as deeply as one can imagine. And so it's about the ostracization of origins as well as people trying to fight for survival as a whole. The world building also is just amazing. It's so good, y'all. Then we have The Deep by River Solomon. Oh, small, but again, packs a punch. Audiobook is incredible. If you're able to listen to it, highly recommend. This is an incredibly powerful story from a non-binary author. It's about people that live under the sea named Wajinru, and they are the descendants of enslaved Africans who either threw themselves overboard to escape their bondage or were thrown overboard by their captors. Because they have come from such a deep history of violence, their minds have only been able to survive by developing incredibly short memories. For this reason, they designate one person who is temporarily responsible for holding the memories of their history, and a few times a year the Wajinru will converge and kind of feed on these memories. So basically our protagonist is the historian who's being forced to hold these memories. That is not something that she wants. It's an incredible burden. It's causing her extreme pain and illness. There's so much to unpack here. I could talk about this book all day, every day. This was another one of our NB Book Club picks, and we had such a great time discussing it. The queer representation in this book is absolutely phenomenal. There's representation for non-binary identities, asexuality, there's polyamory, and just general overall queerness. Honestly, this book is queer from page 1 all the way to the end, and it's a really easy book to get through in a very short period of time. But I do recommend taking your time with this because there's just so much deliciousness to dissect here. Then we have Pet by Akweke Emezi, which, if y'all can't tell, I'm obsessed with Akweke, and everything that they write is phenomenal. Pet is an amazing young adult utopian novel about a trans girl named Jam who accidentally brings a monster to life. She and this monster, who is literally my favorite character in this entire story, team up in order to fight an unspeakable evil that is plaguing Jam City. The world that Jam lives in has been liberated of all of the awful things that plague us, things like racism and homophobia and transphobia and systemic oppression. She learns that not all of the monsters are gone and resolves to do something about it. Another amazing work by Emezi. The writing is really, really beautiful. It's super easy to get through. I think it reads a little bit on the lighter side of YA, but honestly, that didn't bother me one bit. Then we have I Wish You All the Best by non-binary author Mason Deaver. This is a young adult contemporary about Ben, who is kicked out of their house when they come out as non-binary. They end up moving in with their sister, who they haven't seen in 10 years, and start attending a new school where they meet Nathan. And this story is essentially about Ben and Nathan falling in love, Ben working through the recent trauma that they've experienced. There's really fantastic representation for anxiety in this book and panic attacks. And I love that it's not all doom and gloom. I love that at the heart of the story is a really, really beautiful queer romance. And again, if you don't know much about non-binary identities, this is another great book to pick. Then we have The Wicked and the Divine, which is a comic series that I've loved pretty much since it came out. The art in this book is absolutely stunning, and I swear, like, every character in this book is queer in some way. Ironically, this character is queer, and I love him to pieces. So The Wicked and the Divine is a comic book about gods who are reborn every 90 years. This time, they've come back as modern-day pop stars. It's creepy, it's haunting, it's super queer, there are trans characters, the story is really fast-paced, it's exciting, the art is just completely stunning, and I highly, highly recommend. And I can't wait to see you in my next video.
Hi, my name is Akela Andrews Cartier. I sit on the Black Pride board, and I think that for Black History Month, LGBTQ queer life should be celebrated for all the many contributions that we have given to each movement, and not only for the month of February, but the whole year long. So, yes, let's celebrate our moment.
Salutations, everyone. My name is John Pointer. I'm a member of the National Black Pride Board and also the Prep Navigator and YBU coordinator here at my house. And for those who are wondering, yes, I am that same John Pointer that was the 2020 Legacy Award winner. I'm coming in today to tell you the importance of LGBT people and Black history and how they coincide with each other. A lot of folks don't know we have a lot of unsung heroes in the Black gay community, and if it wasn't for those heroes, we wouldn't have the Black equal rights we have today. For example, Bayard Rustin. He is the Black gay Quaker man who helped organize the Million Man March. A lot of folks don't know because he kind of like got blackballed from the book textbooks because of his sexuality. But if it wasn't for people like him who stood up for our rights back in the day, we wouldn't have the ones that we have now. I just wanted to share that with y'all. And thank you